Hey guys, it's 11:30 at night. I just got done recording some really cool stuff that I can't tell you guys about until the album is released, but you're all going to be really excited for this remake. Um, Song remake. Hitting it, nudge nudge, wink wink. Anyways, um, so I decided I was going to do a vlog on my greatest fear, and I wanted to hear what you guys' greatest fears were in addition to my own. So I'm going to tell you mine, and you guys got to post below what your favorite, no, not your favorite fear, that's weird. Post your worst fear below. So my worst fear is actually, well, I have a lot of fears. I have a fear of failing. I have a fear of not being known to the world, believe it or not. I have a fear of dying unknown, which eventually we are all forgotten. That's unavoidable. In fact, I'm afraid of dying if we get down to it. But my biggest mortal fear of something physical is actually earthquakes. I have seismophobia. And not like actually diagnosed or anything. I just know this. When I was 3 years old in 1994, I lived in Northridge, California. And for those of you who can already tell where this is going, in 1994 in Northridge, California, there was an earthquake. I think it was like a 7 point something. Anyways, I lived in Northridge. I lived a couple blocks from the epicenter, actually. So my house received an abnormal amount of damage. And back then, we lived in a really old style house where the door, our front door, didn't have like a twisty lock. You locked it both, or locked and unlocked it both inside and outside with a key. It didn't have a lock you twisted. You needed a key. And my mom told me that back then, or my brother was actually at his friend's house with the only key. So we were literally trapped inside our house. Like all of our doors were like that. And I don't remember much except that I remember vaguely being underneath a table and watching china hitting the floor and shattering in front of me. I had my baby blanket with me. I think this was a tremor, an aftershock. Not a tremor. It definitely weren't tremors. This was an aftershock that I'm recalling. I don't remember the earthquake itself. I remember turning to look behind me, and there was cutlery all over the floor, knives, forks, the drawers were out on the floor. There was this horrible sound. I can actually hear seconds before an earthquake. There's this sound, and I can hear it, and I know this because like 3 or 4 years ago there was an earthquake where I live now, and I don't remember exactly how many years. It could have been 5. I lost count. There was an earthquake where I live now, and the house that I lived in, well, first of all, when I was back in Northridge, I reacted so badly to the earthquake. Oh, by the time we got out of the house, by the time my brother got home and unlocked the door, we were finally able to go outside. When I thought I was free, I turned to see the only place that I knew my entire world was on fire. It was in the middle of the night, so it was pitch black. All of Northridge was just in flames. All of the city. And I lived in the suburbs. So I turned from my suburban home as a 3-year-old to see all of Northridge on fire. And I used to wake up in the middle of the night for months, years, to this nightmare. And for months after the earthquake, my mom says that I went mute. I don't remember this part of the earthquake. I don't really remember much after it, and I think for a really long time, I kind of forced myself to forget that it happened. And it wasn't until we started talking about earthquakes in middle school, and we were talking actually about the 94 earthquake, that I realized I lived in Northridge at the time, and then the memories started coming back, and it was like, I went into shock, man. It was really awful. It was 6th grade, so I just kind of sat there, and my teacher was like, Monica, are you okay? And I was like, I was there, and everyone was like, what? And I was like, that was a horrible experience. So anyways, several summers ago, I was home alone. I was in my PJs. I think I was playing Pokemon on my SP. And I had this window pane that wasn't fitted correctly to my window. Whenever an airplane would go overhead, or a really heavy car or truck or even a train, several whatever's in some direction, I have no sense of direction, my window pane would rattle. And I was totally used to this. I'd been living in this house for like, I mean, it's not this house anymore. It's not the one I live in now. It was the one I lived in before this one. And I mean, we'd been living there for like 2 years. That house was haunted. It was everything. And that window would shake. And I was sitting there on the floor and the window started to shake. But it didn't stop for like almost a full minute. And I remember sitting there, and as it continued to shake and it started to shake more, I remember looking up at the window like something's wrong. Like the really slow movie look like. And you just kind of look at it. And then I heard that sound. And I don't know what that, I cannot explain to you the sound of an earthquake. It is, I mean, it literally, my mentality snapped when I heard that sound. And the walls started rolling like this. Like, you think a house is, it's stable and it sits there and it's like it can't fail. And then an earthquake happens and your walls do this. And there's nothing worse than watching your walls turn to jelly. I hit the floor. I mean, I was already on the floor, but I hit the floor and I just kind of crawled into my doorway and I sat there and I just stared. And I remember after the earthquake, my sister came running out of her room and she was like, Monica, there was a, oh my God. And I just stared. I didn't know who she was. I had regressed back to a 3-year-old state. I couldn't talk. I think I speed dialed one of my best friends and I just sat there blubbering and he was like, Monica, did the bookshelf fall on you? And I was just like, I couldn't speak. My mom actually in earthquakes, because there was another one really recently. It was much smaller. It was no rolling walls. The house just kind of shook and I heard that sound again. It was very minute though. I hit the floor. I hit the floor next to the couch. I actually like rolled off my bed and I just like crawled halfway under it next to my couch. And my mom, interestingly enough, will just start running. Like, it doesn't even matter where. She just turns and starts running. It like there's no destination. And we think it's because when the earthquake happened in 1994, the first thing she tried to do was to get out of bed and get to me, but she couldn't run. The earthquake was so strong that she couldn't actually get out of bed. I was 3, so all she could think about was to get to the crib, to get to me in my room, but she couldn't get out of bed. So anytime there is an earthquake now, she just starts running because that was the one driving thing in the worst experience of our lives. And I mean, it was traumatizing. The president came through. I don't remember this, but there are pictures of it. The president came through Northridge. I mean, the pictures that we have, I should have gone and fetched them. If I'll do like another vlog where I bring out the pictures. We have loads of them of what happened. My mom used to love photography, so we have all these pictures of Northridge in ruins and our house in ruins. We had a pool and it was completely drained. It was cracked. It was one of the most traumatizing experiences of my life, and I hate earthquakes with a mighty passion. I feel like I did this video before. Oh well, whatever. Doing it again. I hate earthquakes. So I've kind of trained, I don't want to say trained, but I've trained pretty much everyone I know and all of my friends. If an earthquake happens, I'm going to be useless. I'm going to hit the floor. Obviously I'm not going to do this with the intent to do it, but up to this point, that's been my response every single time. I'm going to try not to respond in that way. It was funny. Recently, around the same time as the one where I went under the bed, I was at a friend's house and I didn't notice, but there was an earthquake happening. It was very small. And all of a sudden this woman runs into the room and goes, guys, there's an earthquake. And of course, we all stop and feel for it. I feel the room shaking. Now that it's quiet, I can hear the sound. I like rolled off the chair and everyone was like, whoa. And I just like sat in the corner and I was just like, my ex-boyfriend had to be like, guys, it's just seismophobia. And everyone was like, right. Well, anyways. And everybody brought up the sound levels and they got back to normal. So there you go. There's my biggest fear, my biggest physical fear of something tangible, I guess tangible. So let me know in the comments below what you guys are most afraid of. It doesn't have to be a tangible physical fear. It can be something metaphysical, so death or failure or not achieving your dreams. That's a big one for me. Let me know. Let me know below what your fears are. I want to know. We can talk through them or be afraid of them together. It'll be great. Camaraderie. All right. Don't forget, we have the official Darkovika Steam group where you guys can go and be a part of the community. We also have my work in progress, darkovika.com website, which we're kind of working on, me and my friend. So hopefully that'll have some forums soon. I'm also trying to get a chat up, but I mean, like, not trying. I haven't really started yet. I haven't had a chance. That's what I want to do once I download the current code for this website. I'm going to try and implement forums. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll do a chat first. I'll try and do a chat first. Yeah, I think I'll do a chat first. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Post below your fears, your fears. There's nothing else to add to that. And I will see you all in the next video. I love you all dearly, and ta-ta.